Round 5 of the 2025 Formula One World Championship takes us to Saudi Arabia. The Jeddah Corniche Circuit is a high-speed street track that takes absolutely no prisoners. So which drivers am I looking out for this weekend? Which drivers do I think are going to have a good weekend? Which drivers do I think need to perform this weekend? Well, let's have a look, guys. Let's dive in with the 5 drivers I'm going to be paying special attention to around the 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And we're going to start with Lando Norris. Of course, Lando Norris, if he doesn't win this race and his teammate Oscar Piastri does win this race, Norris will lose the lead of the championship. He's only 3 points ahead of his teammate Oscar Piastri. He made a few key errors during last weekend in Bahrain, a track that they know very well, of course. We had pre-season testing there. He's got plenty of experience there. Around Saudi Arabia, though, if you make some mistakes, you are going to be in big trouble. Of course, he lined up incorrectly on the grid. He made a mistake during qualifying, and also I believe firmly that he should have been able to overtake George Russell towards the end of the Grand Prix as well. Not to belittle what George Russell did during that race, but at the end of the day, I think he really should have finished second in that one, Norris, to be honest, and he should have really been challenging for pole position as well in qualifying. So if we see something similar to that around this track, it's not very easy to overtake, and mistakes are punished very heavily. So Norris is very much needing to perform. He needs a win, really, otherwise Oscar Piastri is going to have massive momentum as we head across the Atlantic Ocean to Miami for round 6. Next up, let's talk about Ollie Behrman. Ollie Behrman, of course, got his Formula One debut here 12 months ago, super subbing in at the last moment for Carlos Sainz, who lost his appendix, of course. That wasn't an accident, by the way. That was a very deliberate operation to save his life. Anyway, Behrman did very well in his stead for Ferrari. I think he finished like 7th, 8th, something like that, which is no mean feat at all. That Ferrari, of course, was a great car last year. It's a good car this year as well now. But still, making points on debut when you're the 3rd youngest driver in Formula One history, having never driven that car before, super stuff around a track that is very difficult as well. He had a fantastic performance as well last week out in Bahrain as well. He qualified on the back row. He was nowhere in qualifying and powered through to 10th place and getting a single point for his team. More double points for Haas. They are flying in 2025. It seemed as though the first race that they were going to be backmarkers potentially, but since then they've kicked on immensely. How is Behrman going to do this weekend? Well, I think he's a strong contender for points, no doubt about that at all. He's very good around this track, as we've seen, and I'm looking forward to see him showcase his skills in that Haas car. Next up, let's talk about Yuki Tsunoda. Now, Tsunoda did a good job last weekend, in my opinion, around Bahrain. It's just a shame that his car, the RB21, was not very good at all, unfortunately. Even his teammate Max Verstappen struggled relatively low on the grid by the end of the race, and on the start of the race for that matter as well. 7th he lined up on the grid, and then P6 by the end of the race. Tsunoda was P10 on the grid, and I think he finished in P9, which... honestly, that's kind of where Red Bull were during that race. But how's he going to get on this weekend? Well, the main thing for Tsunoda is that he needs to be consistent, and he needs to be consistently up with Max Verstappen. Not necessarily challenging Max Verstappen, but a couple places below him, a couple tenths off in qualifying. I think that is very, very good considering how difficult that car is to drive in. He has showcased now that he can score points in it, which is the first time the Red Bull second driver scored points this season in Bahrain. Hopefully he can back that up with another top 10 finish this weekend in Saudi. Next up, I'm going to talk about Jack Doohan because it might be the last opportunity for us to talk about him. If you believe the rumours, of course, he had a 6-race contract. This is his 6th race in Formula One, his 5th race this season for Alpine. If you believe those rumours, that means that it's going to be his final Grand Prix. Now, he did have a better time out in Bahrain. He was 11th on the grid and then P14 by the end of the race. Not terrible. A long way off of his teammate, though, unfortunately. Pierre Gasly really bringing home the bacon, getting 7th place on race day. 5th. He actually started 4th on the grid because of the penalty to Antonelli, but he qualified in 5th place as well in that Alpine. If he does the same around this track, Gasly, and Doohan doesn't score points, I think it's going to be curtains for him. Do I think that's fair? No. Do I think it's going to happen? Yeah. I think Franco Colapinto was very much prescribed to be in that car after the 5th race of this season, and unfortunately, Doohan has crashed too much and been too inconsistent. If he doesn't score points in Saudi Arabia, he will leave Formula One without any points as well. So I'm not saying it's right what's happened to him, but you can understand why Alpine are pulling the trigger with that one, especially with how much they've invested in recruiting Colapinto in the first place. And the final driver I'm going to talk about, I've put the Ferrari shirt on today. I'm not a Ferrari fan by any means, guys, before anybody accuses me of that. I just found it in my wardrobe. It's been chilling there for all this time and I've just never rediscovered it. I think I got it from a trip to Italy many years ago, actually. But anyway, from one of the Ferrari drivers, I'm not going to talk about Sir Lewis. I'm going to talk about Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's pretty good around Saudi, to be fair. He's never won around here, but I'm sure he's had a couple of second places. I'm sure he got second place in 22, and he might have got another podium or two here and there as well. He's pretty good around this track. Ferrari looks a lot better in Bahrain, of course, as well. They've got a better floor now, which will really come in handy around a track where you've got to really attack the curves and really go high speed over them to do that. So I think Leclerc is going to be an outside shot for a podium. Of course, he qualified in P3, started in P2 because of George Russell's penalty in qualifying last time out in Bahrain, of course. And yeah, I think if he does that again, it's going to be very difficult for people to overtake him, because it is a track that's hard to overtake around. There are some decent DRS zones, but it's really, really tough to pass around here with it being a street circuit. We'll see how everybody gets on, though. Let's hope for a safe and on and off the track. Let's hope for a safe Grand Prix here in Saudi Arabia. Of course, there is previous with that. We're not going to get into them issues, of course. But during this video, that's not a topic for this video. But yeah, let's hope for a great race this weekend, guys, around the Jeddah Corniche Circuit. Who is going to win this weekend? Let us know your picks in the comments below, and keep it tuned to the channel for much more content in the build up to this weekend's race. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more like this. Have a fantastic day. See you very soon, guys.